Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. You may have heard the news that recently talking about forever chemicals known as Per and Polyfluoroalkyl Substances or PFAS. So PFAS are extremely persistent in nature as they are not easily biodegradable. In addition, PFAS have been detected in human blood, brain, even umbilical cord blood. A recent report found that PFAS are commonly used in soft contact lenses throughout the United States. This is a report done by our friends at Momovation. What does this mean, for our eyes and health? So we're really excited today to be chatting with Dr. Taylor Degroot. Dr. Degroot is a holistic optometrist that looks beyond what meets the eye. We're going to discuss what PFAS are, why they're used in contact lenses, and what to do about it. So I'm gonna.
Hi,
Hi, Dr. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, of course.
Tell us a little bit about your background and how you become interested in eye care.
Yeah. So I first became interested in eye care as a young kid who was just going to the optometrist to get some glasses. Um, and I was really interested because my optometrist explained how all the different ways that our health is reflected in the eyes. And the eyes are actually the only part of the body where you can see into it and gauge the health of it without having to cut the body open. So it's the only place in the body where we can take a look at the blood vessels, and really you can see so much from the health of our eyes because it's also one of the first places where it starts to decline because the eyes have such a high metabolic rate and they require so much. So it's actually one of the first places where our body exhibits signs of aging, signs of stress, and they're just very sensitive. And they're also a good, indication of how the nervous system is functioning and also how our brain is functioning.
Yeah, that's really fascinating. You are an optometrist. I know there are also many other kind of eye doctors. So on a high level, what's the difference between different eye doctors?
Yeah. So an optometrist is more like the primary care physician of eye care. We do glasses, contact. We treat eye diseases like glaucoma, macular degeneration. So yeah, they do all the eye diseases. The optometrists don't do surgery. I mean, in some states maybe they have some surgical procedures, but that's mainly ophthalmologists that are doing surgery.
Hmm. I know today we're going to talk about the forever chemical PFAS, and then PFAS is used in a lot of plastics as well as many other materials. Do you feel that the eye care industry, has a lot of plastic chemical in it?
Um, I would say that contacts are probably the main, exposure there. In terms of different chemicals, I do think that, a lot of the artificial teardrops that they have aren't the best ingredients. Some of them are derived from petroleum mostly. So I watch out for that. But in terms of plastic, I would say the contacts are probably, the main risk there. I mean, the contact lens cases themselves too are made of plastics. Um, I mean, obviously, we're exposed to so many plastics nowadays, like personal care products, so it's good to minimize exposure where we can. Yeah.
Yeah, totally aligned. You had an amazing post breaking down the PFAS in contacts controversy. So we're gonna ask some follow-up questions from that. So first, what are PFAS like? Or why are they used in general, and why are they in contact lenses?
Yeah. So PFAs are a group of about 14,000 man-made chemicals that don't break down. They can accumulate in our bodies. So the real problem with PFAs is that, our bodies aren't equipped to deal with them, so we have no way to naturally detox that. So they are used in many products, including contact lenses, to help make products heat, oil, and water resistant. Specifically, the contact, it's to make the contacts have a higher oxygen permeability.
Mm.
So it's actually the plastic that, I'm sure if you've seen contacts before, it's kind of like a plastic material. That actual material has, the PFAS in it, and those are added to permeability, increase wearability, increase the durability as well of the contact lenses. So it's basically just improving the technical performance of the lenses.
So PFAS was first like brought to our attention because it's like contaminated pretty much all drinking water in the US. And then EPA, has determined a sort of a thresholds that's recommended for consumption. Did contact like some of the ones that Mamadation tested? I know that did they like exceeded that threshold?
So the contact lenses exceeded 100, is about 50,000 times higher than the safe level for drinking water. Obviously, like with drinking water, that's more of a concern because you're like fully in that. But it's definitely still a concern with the contacts from a health standpoint. It is touching mucous membrane, and we do have, a route for things to go from the eyes directly into blood circulation. So I wouldn't imagine that like it's just as bad as having that much water. But I think to some level we're still absorbing this because there it is, this part of the eye, like right here, that's where the puncta is, and the puncta leads directly into the nasopharyngeal route, which is how things go into the bloodstream. So yeah, you can actually absorb about 80% of a drug that's put onto the eye into the systemic circulation. So knowing that, I would think to some level, these are being absorbed.
So is there any contact that's like PFAS free?
Yeah. So I did a little bit of research on this. I know like a lot of the companies after this like came out and was in the media a lot, I think a lot of the companies were kind of scrambling and they were putting out statements that like they don't use PFAs, which is definitely questionable in my opinion. Because, like data is known to like have PFAS. So I'm just like, okay, like that's interesting. They're saying that, like, I really obviously they don't want people to stop wearing their contact lenses. So, like, what are they? But there was another company that was brought to my attention. It was called EIYAN. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Ion, maybe Ion Let, and they were claiming on their website, like big, bright, bold letters, claiming to have no PFAs. Again, I don't know if this is just like a marketing claim. They provide any testing or certifications. But it is interesting that they're claiming this. I'm definitely skeptical considering it still is a silicone hydrogel lens, which, I really think like how else are they making silicone hydrogel? They're not, adding something to increase the oxygen permeability. Interestingly enough, the hydrogel lenses, which are like the lenses that were used before silicone hydrogel was invented, those like shouldn't have PFAs in them, like theoretically. Again, I don't think they tested any of the hydrogel lenses, but it would be interesting to see if they still come up as testing for fluorine. But yeah, so theoretically the hydrogels would be better, but then the downside to the hydrogels is that they have way worse oxygen permeability. So I wouldn't really say it's like a safer bet. I mean, possibly you have getting less exposure, but at the same time, at what cost? Because contacts are already like creating a hypoxia to the eye, a slight hypoxia. So I'm already not a fan of them that much for that reason. But and then also you have to consider how the contacts also affect the ocular microbiome. So there's multiple things to consider, but yeah, it's interesting that company they can give us like some more data to show us that. And then recently also another company came to my attention called VSCO Vision. They're based in Taiwan, and apparently they don't use PFAs in their silicone hydrogels. So again, I haven't like reached out to the company myself, but I did see another like holistic eye doctor mentioning that company. And So I'm not sure how people would get a hold of those contacts because they're based in Taiwan,
Yeah.
but um, yeah, that's the company that brought to my attention.
That is so interesting. It's related to the oxygen permeability because I think many doctors, optometrists recommending these with breath, higher breathability lenses are like the daily lenses. So I'm kind of wondering like whether the daily lenses versus like other longer term lenses, whether that was like a huge difference between
I think,
in terms of PFAS levels.
yeah, I think the daily lenses are better. I checked back at the article, but I'm pretty sure the daily lenses test better because I think they also use less
Less
plastic in the daily.
plastic.
Yeah, because they don't have to be as durable.
Mhm.
Um, dailies are still better, superior in every way.
Mm. So would you recommend some people to go back to wearing glasses instead of contact lenses then?
Um, if it were me, I don't wear contact lenses. I do, wear glasses sometimes. So I'm very partial to glasses also because you can take off your glasses. Like if you're a myope and you're wearing contacts, you can't just like easily take those on and off. Like, so if people are doing near work and computer work and they can go without glasses,
Hmm.
it's a big stress system to be wearing glasses that are set for distance up close. So I think, for a lot of people, that's definitely an issue. And if you're able to take wear the glasses for distance and take them off for near, I always recommend that. And with contacts, you're not able to do that.
You also noted that some people with eye disease had higher PFAS exposures. Is there anything that we can actually start doing now to to be as preventative as possible when it comes to eye care and will prolong and reduce the need for having to need contact?
Yeah. I would say a big thing is like getting natural light exposure. Wearing light blockers is super important. Really just like eating a nutrient dense diet, getting minerals, all of that is going to help keep your eyes healthy. Um, Specifically, I really love for the eye, niacinamide, vitamin E, like using like a natural eye drop lubricant. I really like emu oil actually for eye health, and specific brand Walkabout emu oil. It's super hydrating for the eyes, and it's a really good like eye lubricant and moisturizer. Um, so yeah, I do have some of my clients using that. It's been really great. Um, there's a bunch of like, natural eye drops, MSM eye drops. Those can be hydrating and really lubricating for the eye. Um, I also really like SKQ1 eye drops. Those are like an antioxidant eye drop that I use with some of my clients. Um, but yeah, overall, I think just, healthy diet, getting natural light and focusing on the health of your liver and your gallbladder is going to reflect back into the eyes and
That
as
is
healthy.
That is so interesting because I think a lot of time people, talk about nutrition, physical activity all the time, but and then also other parts of the body being healthy, but then your eyes actually like, as you mentioned, it's almost like the first sign of a lot of symptoms that people don't even think about.
Yeah.
Um,
Specifically with the liver, like people, if they have liver issues, they'll see yellowing of the eyes. You can see like kind of like a plaque, like raised little pinguecula sometimes on the eye. That's also another sign. And then people that have like cholesterol issues or liver gallbladder issues, you can even see like a gray ring around the iris. And that's another sign in the eyes that, you need to definitely support those systems a little bit better.
can mental health also have an impact on eye health?
For for sure, yeah. Specifically stress. I know there's some eye conditions that are directly related to like high really stressed type A personalities. That condition is called central serous retinopathy, and it's basically like their vision goes really bad. Their vision declines very bad because they have a buildup of fluid in the eye under the macula. And yeah, we see that in just highly stressed, anxious type A personalities. Usually it does resolve on its own, luckily. But yeah, that is the condition that's definitely brought on by stress. And I would also say just, stress in general also reduces blood flow to the eye, and, puts you at risk for definitely glaucoma, macular degeneration, things like that.
Oh, wow. We know you have a discovery call available. So how can someone work with you and what's a session look like?
Yeah. So I do bioresonance testing with my clients remotely. And basically, it's based on like a DNA sample that they send in, and I'm able to see what's out of balance in the eye, nutrient deficiencies, mineral deficiencies, hormone imbalances, and any toxins that are negatively affecting the eyes. So in contact lens wearers, I sometimes see chemicals coming up as stressing out their eyes. Um, so yeah, we're able to kind of bring back balance to the eyes energetically. We can make like energetic tinctures. We use a lot of homeopathy, and been having really good success with clients using that testing. It's like super accurate. Um, and yeah, I really love it. And I work with all types of clients that are having eye issues.
How could the people book a call?
Yeah, you can go to the link in my bio and stay tuned because I'm going to be launching my new website soon. So people can book bioresonance scans from that website. And yeah, I'm looking forward to just helping more people with their eyes.
This is so awesome. We know you also have a free vision guide. What's in that guide?
Yeah. So that's just a free guide, and it's basically helping people to gradually reduce their prescription. So a lot of people, are on this journey to kind of just improve their vision or not have to wear such high prescription. Since a lot of people are like over minus more than they should be, and that kind of the nerve system on high alert. So it's kind of just a guide on how to gradually reduce the prescription and get better vision naturally.
And those eye drops and also nutrients and stuff you mentioned earlier, are those also in this free guide?
No, the guide is mainly just like reduce the prescription. It's more about like myopia, and things like that. Not really about eye health in general.
Okay, I'm glad everything is recorded. I'm pretty sure people will need to go back and then re-listen, making sure they jot down, okay, not just the brands of the potential contact lenses they can use, but also the nutrients and also the eye drops that they can use to kind of help increase moisture and then be more preventative.
Yeah, for sure.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. And please let us know when your website is launched. We need to promote this. Everybody needs to go to your website and download that free vision guide and then book discovery calls. This is amazing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.